section for data tools and technical skills for ICP projects. And now you can see, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I analyzed the 43 ICP projects for spring 2014. I find out about 33% of the projects, right, requires BI reporting, business intelligence reporting and dashboard. So these projects will use the company's internal data to report, to visualize the data, right, and to in a dashboard, so the management can see where the company is going, what is going on, right? Can visualize the data and understand the data, right? And there's another 35% of the projects actually requires a different skills, which utilize the external data, such as the competitors' data, such as the financial data, and so on, which is called the competitive intelligence, right? Let's say suppliers, right? Sourcing, the market, all right, market intelligence, and also inventory analytics, and so on, right? As I just said, right? So depending on the data source, we have two types of business intelligence. We have two types of skills, right? The first type of skill will utilize the company's internal data, right? Such as the company's internal operations and processes, right, to discover and resolve, right, the company's internal problems, such as inefficiencies or disruptions. Right? CI, right, is going to use the external data, right, such as the market, supply chain, the competition, right, to track trends and risk, benchmark performance, and identify new suppliers and so on. Right? They are equally important. And in what follows, I'm going to talk about each types of skills separately. Let me close this down and open this. Okay. So the objective here is very simple. So many organizations and companies collect huge and ever-increasing data internally, right? Such as their customers, their suppliers, their internal processes. The question is, what is the story behind the data? How to make meaningful decisions using the data, right? Now, Power BI can provide visual-based insights and help answering these questions. Now, at the end of the day, what we want to achieve is a dashboard like this. Right? This is just an image from my Power BI. Let me just go to the Power BI in the final results. Here we go. Oh, that's another one, but here. Right, so dashboard with controls, that is, you create. So this is the sales data, the global sales data of a company. So you can click certain buttons, right? The data can respond accordingly. Right here, I select product. It's going to show the trend and also the sales locations of that product. Right here, let me just click anywhere. And then if I go to just United States and click a certain region, it's going to show the sales data of that region. So meaning we have interactive dashboard, right? And you can click and compare, right? Which will respond, right, to your actions. Let me just come back. Now, eventually we're going to come up with a dashboard like this, right? Which illustrate the sales by product, right? By location, right? By customers, and also over time. And you also have certain controls such as the date you can choose, or sales channels you can choose, right? You have also the totals, right? So in one simple, let's say, graph, you pretty much show all the information of it. And people and your management can also change things and make comparisons. Now, to do this, we're gonna do this in 3 steps, right? Eventually, you'll come up with a sophisticated, interactive dashboard like that. But first, let's create a dashboard, right? A simple dashboard, assuming the data is clean, right? In 10 minutes. So it's actually very easy to start. And here is what I'm going to show you. And then we're going to try something a little bit more sophisticated. That is analysis by visuals. So looking at the data, play with the data, right? You can understand data better. But the question is how. Here I'm going to give you a few examples of how to understand the data, right? How to even analyze the data just by visuals. And finally, we'll come down to the professional dashboards. Okay. Now, dashboards in 10 minutes. So our first example is a multi-product global sales data. It's just one table. It has revenue, profits, cost, right, over time, like, most cases. And also, you have other control parameters, right, such as different countries, right, and products and segments. Right, the objective is to report the business just to understand what's going on, right, and provide some oversights, right, to track KPIs, how we are doing, and analyze the trend. Right. Now, this is a simple case because data, you don't have the clean data, right? It's a one table and data is mostly clean. Okay. Now, let's go to Power BI. All right. Let me just restart it. So, like everybody else, you'll start from scratch. I don't want to save this. So, here's my Power BI. It's behind the bar. Here we go. So double click. I assume you have Power BI either on your computer or in the cloud. So open it up. All right. Now, these windows will always pop up, right? Ask you to register, ask you to pay, and so on and so forth. So you don't have to, don't worry about it. Just skip it, right? Close it. And this also comes up very often. Let me move this down. Oh, this is essentially your control board. You have views, you have data. Now you don't have data yet. We're going to import data very soon. And here's the filters. Now, after we have the data, we'll see about this. So these are the report view. Just for information, this is the table view. Once we have the data, you'll see that. And this is the table structure model view. Now, you don't have a data model yet. Okay, just for information, we'll come back to the report view and let's get data. Okay, now you have various of sources to get data. Either, sorry, now here, either Excel file, which I think is most likely you are going to use, or text is CSV files, or even JSON files, or even some databases. Right, now let's choose the Excel workbook. There we go. I already prepared the data. This is the first one. Right, now let's just, okay. Select it and let's open it. Okay, you have several sheets, right? And let me select the first sheet. So here's the data. And the data is simple, right? We have quite a few columns here. We have the segments. We have that's the market segments. We have countries, we have products, right? And we have units sold. We have the manufacturing price. It's actually not price, the manufacturing cost, right? And sales price, gross sales, cost of goods sold, and so on and so forth. So very straightforward. Right, profit, and of course also the time at which the sales was made. Now here you can just know the data without making any changes, right? But sometimes you might want to transform the data a little bit. For example, I don't like this manufacturing price. It doesn't make sense, right? It's actually the manufacturing cost. right? So let's make some changes on data. So by transforming data, you're getting to the, what's it called? The Power Query. The review is up to 34, so that's fine. Okay, here we go. So in this table, you can change some of the data. You can do all kinds of things here. I'm just going to tell you some very simple thing to do. You notice that different data has different symbol up there. It tells you this is ABC, this is string data. Right, these are all string data. These 1 and 2, see that it's on the numbers. So you can also change this. Now, I don't like this manufacturing price. Okay, let's see if I can change. Oh, this is just on the numbers there. I want to rename the column, right? Let's say it changes to manufacturing cost.
Professor,
Yes,
is there any way that we can get this set of data like from Canvas?
I will share the presentation and the data and also my PowerPoint, and not PowerPoint, Power BI file with you after the presentation.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, so you can play
Professor,
along.
will you also share this recording in Canvas?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay. Now here's one thing. Now the other thing is I don't want, let's say you find some redundant data, discounted brand, and it's I know and so on. So you can remove it. Let's say select them and right click, just remove. Okay, and you can see here we have a lot of things. We can add columns, we can duplicate columns, we can remove errors, we can find and replace. For example, there's some wrong typos here or something. You can do all kinds of changes here. Of course, you can do it in Excel as well. So let's say that's what we did. Okay, it's fine now. So let's close and apply. All right, to close the query and apply the pending changes. All right. These pending changes cannot be applied. Let's note. Okay, here it. Now your data is here. You see, that's the table, financials, right? And we just noted the data. And here, look at this. We changed the manufacturing price to manufacturing cost. Okay, now our data is ready. Right? All the columns are here. Now you have views. Now let's create some views. Right? Let's play with the data. Let's look at the data in different ways and try to tell the story behind it. Okay, the first thing you do is let's create a wallpaper. So make this background a little different. Let's go here. So look at the views. Let's go to format your report page. Here's wallpaper. You're finding it very useful because it makes your videos different, right? Makes your videos stand out. So let's just make a simple change. Let's say make it a little darker to stand out our videos. Okay, let's come back to all the different videos that we can make. Now, before we do the actual videos, right, we want to, let's say, name this report. I give this report a name, so the management knows what it's all about. So let's go to let's go to insert. Right, okay, here's a text box, right? Click the text box. So let's type in some text. And you don't have to do all this, just to make the dashboard more clear. So let's say this is, we have a company named, let's choose, let's say font, this is too small. Let's say 20, right? Let's say XYZ company, sales summary. Right. Okay, let's make it in the middle. And let's make some adjustment, make it a little nicer. You can change the background, the fonts, you can do whatever you like. But here, let me skip those. Okay. Now let's create some totals, right? To summarize these sales. So let's put sales over here. Let's drag, right? The data, this column. From data, and put it here. Now, initially, it's going to create like a bar chart. I don't want a bar chart. I just want a card. So go to card, and you get the summation. Right? It's very simple. So very, very fast. No, actually, I want it to be higher, so I can see. Okay. Now, this is one total. Let's create another total. This is sales. I also want to know, let's say the cost of goods sold, how much we spend, right? So a different way to do that is let's first create a card. Let's just drag it over here. Sorry. Yeah, let's first drag it over here, and then we just drag the column to this box. That's it. Right. Let's separate them a little bit. Let's arrange them a little bit, and finally, let's also do. You can do anything else. Let's do the profit. How about that? So we'll create the card first. Right. Okay, let's just do one more. Then we're done. Okay, so here's so we have the summary, total sum, right? The sum of sales, the sum of cost, and also sum of profits. Looks like we're not making much profit, huh? Anyway, but only about 10% or something. Okay, now let's look at the trend. So we have the total, but we also want to look at how the sales are spread out over time, right? So let's look at the sales again. Let's drag the scale sales just to anywhere onto the onto your report, right? And let's just make it a little bigger so we can see more, we can see better. Initially, you always come up with a bar chart, which is the first choice up there, right? But we don't want a bar chart. Let's say we want a trend line. Well, initially it's just one dot, right? So we have to tell the program what is the x-axis, right? There's no x-axis here. Look at this. We want to have y. So we want it over time. So let's look at the date. Let's drag date, right, to the x-axis, right? Now here we go. We have the dates. Look at this. We know the sales over time, right? From September 2013 to November 2014. Okay, of course, we can make it more granular. Oh, this is already very, very granular. So we can make it less granular, draw up. So this is just by months, right? Go up more, this by year. Now, if we want to see more details, we just drill down. Let me just click this. All right, this is by quarter. This is by months. I think that's that's the most granular one we have. Now look at this. They actually group all the months together. So, but remember, I have 2 years, right? They put all the they actually put November 2013 and November 2014 together, but we don't want that. So let's go here. Look at x-axis. I right-click on the date. You see here. This is date hierarchy. Don't use that. Just use date. That is going to give you the date, not hierarchy. Okay. Okay, great. We have the sales trend. Now let's also break down our sales by, let's say, by product. We want to know which product was doing well, right? Which is top seller, which is not. So let's do the sales again. I just click anywhere on the report. Right. Let's do it again. Now this one, bar chart. Let's see, we're making it a little bigger. Do you want a pie chart or you want a donut chart? Which one?
Pie chart.
Pie chart. Okay. Yeah, let's make a pie chart. Now, again, it looks not differentiating anything because you didn't specify the x-axis or the legend. Right? In this case, we don't have x-axis. We only have the legend. So let's pull the product into the legend. Here we go. Right. So we have different products. You can see that, right? Here we have like 6 different products. and the sales over this entire, right, period. And that's the split of the sales. Okay, now if you want to change to a donut chart, just activate this one. You see it's already activated, right? With thicker borders, and you can just click on donut chart. It's going to change to donut chart. If you want to do, let's say a tree map, let's do a tree map, right? So, and if you want to do like a funnel, do a funnel. So whatever you want to do, right? Or even like a bar chart, right? Okay, let's stay with pie chart. All right. Lastly, we want to illustrate the sales by region, right? Let's say by country, right? We want to say how it was distributed, right? Across different locations. So here, let's look at sales again. Right. Okay. Now let's pull country to the x-axis, right? X-axis. Now initially, it's going to give you like a bar chart by country, right? Depending on your preferences, sometimes some people might think a map might make more sense. Okay, so let's do a map. So here you have a map here, right? Actually, they have two types of map. The first is by country. They put like a dot here, or they can fill up the country. Right, this is called the field map. Right, or whichever you like. However, if it's your first time, you need to actually change the setting, right, for the map to work. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So for it to work, just go to Files. I already set it up, so I don't have to worry about if it's your first time. To make the map work, you got to go to Files and go to Options and Settings, right? Go to Options. It's slow. And go to Security. And here you see that. Let's see. Here, map and field map for use. You have to activate this button, right? Use map and field map for use. Okay. Now here is our first dashboard. Okay, I use about 29 minutes, but I'm sure you can use much less than that. Any questions?
No, Professor.
Okay, great. Okay, you guys are very smart. All right, now let's should I? Okay. Now let me just come back to my presentation. Okay, we just talked about data inputting and formatting. I just want to give a word of caution. Now, of course, I'm going to share this one the PowerPoint slide with you just in case you miss something. This analysis is so simple, right? This example is so simple. That's because the data is almost clean. Now, if you have data that you need to clean, it's going to take a lot of time. Okay? Things like this, right? If you have to clean, you have to change, you have to replace, or even add columns, that's going to take a lot of time. Just keep that in mind. Okay, now this is what I just showed you, right? This is one we just created, right? And you can do something. Oh, okay, actually, I want to show you one more before I close this one. Let's come back here. Okay, so if you want to change any of the pictures, right, just click on it. It's going to activate it. And it will show you all the parameters for that graph, right, on your visuals. Right. For example, in this trend line, it's going to show you the x-axis. It's going to show you the y-axis, right? You can also add the second y-axis, right? Now here, legend, let me add segments, and you'll see what's the impact. You see that the trend line is going to show, right, the trend of sales by each segment. It's going to split them. Right, so play with this, and you will see a lot of interesting things. You can make any changes to in anywhere. Right now, in addition to these graphs, to these graphs, right? You can also change some of the titles, X and Y axis, how to format it, the fonts, the size. You can do all kinds of changes. Even zoom slider. Let's see. Let's turn it on and see what happens. Okay, here we go. Right, turn it on, and I can just change. You can see the some details, right, about the graph, right? It's a very powerful tool. It's also very easy to use. Any questions? Okay. Now, for most Udemy or YouTube videos on Power BI, that's where it ends. But for us, we just get started, right? So let me just show you something more interesting, which is what we call how to understand or analyze the data using visuals. Right. So let me just switch back to my presentation. So the objective here is not only to see the beautiful pictures, right? It's really to understand what's the meaning of that, right? So to do that, we need a few more advanced enhancement to the graph. Let's say we need to calculate the columns. So maybe the column is not enough. You want to make some changes, right? Do some manipulation on the columns to get the variables you're interested in, right? Or make comparisons, right? Or even to detect, right, some causal relationships, which is really beyond just to show the pictures, right? Now, for example, in this example, right, we have the sales, we have the cost of goods sold, we have the profits. Now, for many people, profits may be more important than sales, right? We spend a lot of time just to illustrate sales, right? Just now. Now let's focus on the profit. And really, what we want to know is what really drives the profit, right? For instance, right, which factor, right? That's the combination of products, country, or segment, right? Has the highest, right? Has the biggest impact on the unit profit, right? Or let's say this in another way. So which combination of products, countries, or segment have the highest, right, unit profit, makes the most money? And that's, of course, something you don't know, right? Because that's your top, that's a profit generator. So you should pay more attention to. And of course, which one is the least, which maybe you don't really want to continue, right? So see, these insights will help you make a lot of important decisions. Now, to do this, we need the